Thailand is hands down one of the greatest countries I've ever been to in my life. Bustling cities, beautiful beaches, amazing food, friendly people, and a really welcoming culture. And all these make you feel truly, truly happy once you're here. However, it does have downsides too, and in this video I'm going to be covering both the pros and cons so that you can make informed decisions and decide what's right for you. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam Tyler and I made the decision to move to Thailand 6 years ago with no regrets. Back then I was living in England, directionless and in search of a big change. At that point I didn't know what I was going to do with my career, and while I had a great family and good friends back home in England, I was kind of searching for something where I could find myself. And for me, the best way to do that was by exploring new countries, and then that led me onto my journey into Asia. Back during COVID, that's how it all started. I was working as a teacher in Thailand. I was probably working around 1 to 2 days a week because at that time I had to work from home, send the videos into the school, and I could do all of that work in 1 to 2 days, meaning the rest of the week I had a lot of free time, which led me on to downloading TikTok. So I started with uploading around once a week, and then I gradually moved that up to twice a week, got my first viral video, which was about Thai language. And as soon as I got that video, I realized, okay, I've done it once, I can definitely do it again. So from that point onwards, I decided to upload every single day, which I did for 2 years. So the first 2 years that I was making content, I actually earned zero, absolutely nothing. And it was only the next 2 years where I started to earn a little bit of money. And once I knew that I could earn enough, I'm gonna make the decision, I'm gonna leave my main job as a teacher, quit and do content full time. And as of today, I have 3.7 million followers on TikTok, almost 350,000 on Instagram, and 7,000-ish on YouTube, which is still growing. But the important thing here is that I've managed to grow my own personal brand, quit my main job, and become a full-time content creator. So that's a little bit of my backstory of how I became a content creator. And just before we get into the video, it would mean a lot if you could hit that subscribe button and leave a comment so that I can make more content like this just for you, and your feedback really does matter to me. All right, so let's talk about some of the reasons why I left England. First being a lack of personal growth. While I did have very good friends there, good family, I felt like I could never truly reach my potential there. I felt like also I wanted to make new connections, go to new cultures, experience new things. And the only way I believe to personally grow and really better yourself is to go outside of your comfort zone. And for me, moving to a new country, having new surroundings, creating a whole new friend group is scary. Of course, it's very scary. In the beginning, I was contemplating even my life choices, like what am I doing here? But it's those obstacles and those challenges which make you grow and better. So I'm very thankful to my former self for making those decisions. Another reason why I left was the weather. Now, everyone talks about the weather in England. It's a very popular question of topic. It's just so obviously true when people say, the weather ain't great, is it? Just imagine this, you're waking up every day in winter, you open the curtains, you see a grey sky, it's raining, it's gloomy, it's cold, and you think to yourself, I have to go out there, I have to go to work. For me, that is, I think it's one of the worst feelings in the world. I love warm weather, and I won't say super hot weather because it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, but warm to hot weather is great. And in England, okay, you can get that in the summer, maybe a couple of weeks or a month or two, but majority of the year, it's pretty grim. The weather's not great, it's cloudy, it's rainy. Once I came here and I've started to wake up in my bed in Bangkok and realize, okay, I wake up, I get out of bed, open my curtains, and it's warm, it's sunny. Instantly, my mood is up, like instantaneously, and I love it. And that sets me off for a great day. I can then go to the gym, I can be productive, I can work better, I can focus, and I'm just happier all around. And another reason why I left was the cost of living back home. So, as you know, you've seen on the news, you've seen from everywhere, friends, family, the cost of living in a country such as England is extremely high nowadays. And let's say, for example, renting. I've got a friend back home and he rents an apartment, and I think he pays around £800 to £900 per month for a shared apartment. And that really blows my mind because, okay, it's not going to be the biggest. You're going to have to share the facilities with a friend or roommates, and you're going to sacrifice some of your freedom and independence because of that. Now, comparing that to Bangkok, Thailand, I live on my own here. I pay around $700 to $800 for a large 2-bedroom condo, and I don't have to worry so much about The rent, I don't have to worry so much about if I need to get a roommate to share, because the cost of living is vastly different compared to England. Even things like eating out in England, I would be conscious about going out to eat because I'd think, okay, this meal I might spend anywhere between 20 to 30, 40, 50 pounds upwards just for one night. And it makes you think, okay, maybe I'll stay home instead. Whereas in Thailand, I feel like I have more of a luxury and freedom to choose when and where I want to eat. And for me, being a foodie, that's super, super important. All right, so now let's go through some of the reasons why I chose Thailand. And the first, which I've touched on already, is the weather. I love being in a hot country, and that just makes me happy. Next reason would be accommodation and condos. If you didn't know already, Bangkok has some of the greatest condos in the world. And I really, really mean that. You've got the older style condos where you get the bigger space, which is personally what I've gone for. So the facilities might be a bit older, but in terms of the room size itself, it's going to be larger, like 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 square meters and above. Then you've got the other side, which are these newer complexes, such as your Knightsbridge condos, your Park Origin condos, Supplies, all these new places. The rooms will be smaller slightly, maybe between 25 to 40 square meters, but you'll have the most advanced, amazing facilities. And it's really, really good value for money. For me, when I first came to Thailand, I was paying around 9,000 baht at my first condo, which was just under 30 square meters. I then moved to another condo, which I paid 13,000 baht for 42 square meters. And now I pay around 30,000 baht, and that gets me just under 70 square meters. All right, next reason is places to visit. And this is one of my favorite parts of Thailand because it's so diverse. As you know, I live in Bangkok, and that is a massive, massive city with tons of restaurants, markets, sky bars, cinemas, parks, everything. For me, I tell everyone this all the time, it's one of the most convenient cities in the world, and that's why I love it here. Being from a small village in Manchester, it's totally different. Then, on the other hand, you've got places in the north, like Chiang Mai. The temperature's a bit cooler, it's a bit more local, great food. Also, you've got night markets and loads of digital nomads there too. And then in the south, you've got places like Krabi, Phuket, Koh Samui, where you can have these tropical islands which literally make you feel like you're in a movie when you go there. It's white sands, clear seas. And for me, living in Bangkok, it's so easy to go to these places. If I want to go to the south, it's an hour's flight. If I wanted to go to the north, to Chiang Mai, it's probably like 1 hour 20. And not only that, the price is pretty cheap. You can look to pay between 1 to 3,000 baht one way for one of these flights. So return, it could be between 2 to 5,000 baht. Super cheap. The next reason is people you meet and the friends that I've made over here. I've made some of my best friends in my life whilst being in Bangkok, Thailand. And it's the people that make the experiences, right? So when I think about Bangkok, Thailand, I also think about friends, apart from also thinking about food and places and the city life, but I think about who's here. And having really good friends surrounding you that are pushing you, you're like-minded, that's super important to me, and I found that in Bangkok, so that makes me feel super grateful. So if any of my friends are watching this, thank you so much. And the next one is quality of life. Obviously, this is hard to define because it's very personal. And I remember I was in geography class in year 7, year 8, when I was about 11, 12, 13 years old, always learning about this term, quality of life. And they would compare countries in Asia to South America to Europe and England. And they'd always talk about quality of life. And I always thought about it like it's a very personal thing. It comes down to how the individual feels. And for me, I feel super, super content and happy living in Thailand. And okay, I might not have access to certain things which I might have in England, but in terms of how I feel personally, I feel super happy. I feel like I can visit many beautiful places. I'm surrounded by warm-hearted, lovely Thai people all the time. The food is great. And all this contributes to my life. And it makes me feel every day I can wake up and say, okay, am I truly happy here? And the answer is yes, every single time. Next reason is Thai culture. So I would describe myself as a mix of being an introvert and an extrovert. I think they call that an ambivert if I'm not wrong, but I'll say I'm probably more likely to be an introvert. And maybe that fits in with the Thai culture a bit more, because obviously the Thai culture is very sabai, chill, a bit more reserved, very respectful. So I kind of feel like I fit in here more than England. And the friends that I've made, which are Thais, are kind of similar to me in some ways. And I think what makes Thai culture so great here is their kind-heartedness and warmness and respectfulness, even to foreigners like me. I remember a story where I was on a motorbike once that I rented. It broke down at the side of the road. I think I was in the south of Thailand. And within 5 minutes, I had 2 different Thai people come up to me and offer help, which was lovely. And it's just moments like that where I think back and I remember, I'm like, okay, I love being surrounded by this and I love the culture here. But of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are downsides too, and I want to talk about that in this video too. So the first one I want to mention is pollution. I live in Bangkok and I have a little app on my phone. I think it's called like AQI, and it basically checks the pollution. And I do that, maybe not every day, but every so often, quite regularly check that. Especially in Bangkok and certain points in Thailand, the pollution can get really, really, really bad. And it's something which always crosses my mind and I think, okay, like I said about quality of life, I think I do have a high quality of life here, but this is a very important factor in that. And the measure I take to prevent that is having an air purifier, I think they call it, yeah. And I put one in my bedroom and then one in the living room, and that helps clean the air. Because during the rainy season, it's not too bad actually, but during the dry season, that's when the pollution gets pretty bad, especially in Bangkok, and you'll see this thick smog, and I really, really hate it. So that's not ideal. Another downside, as you know, I live in Bangkok, is the traffic. Bangkok traffic is horrendous, and I live in the center of the city, and it's even worse here, so I'm used to it every single day. I'm trying to walk down the side of the road, and all you hear is bikes and tuk-tuks, and it's not even cars, it's just mostly bikes and tuk-tuks that you hear. And if you want to go, if you want to go during rush hour, let's say between 4:30 p.m. and 7 p.m, good luck. It's going to take you a long, long time. And that's obviously why they have the BTS here, or they have, well, motorbikes. Obviously they're a bit dangerous, but they're quicker. They can go in between the traffic. But if you're in a grab car, be prepared, because Bangkok traffic is on another level and it's crazy. And something else which is really difficult while being away from home is being away from my family. I'm quite close with my family, and I feel like that is definitely, probably hands down, the hardest thing to deal with once moving to another country. It's one of those things where it's always going to be a sacrifice if you move to another country. And for me, the consequence of that is being away from my family. And if I'm going back once a year, or some of my family coming here once a year, it means I get to see them potentially once or twice a year, which is not ideal. And for me, the best way to combat that is to create a good friend group in the country that you live in, so that you can feel comfortable and you feel happy and safe. That way you don't feel like you're missing your family too much. But that is something which always crosses my mind. It's just being away from my family. It's probably one of the hardest things about moving country. So the purpose of this video is not to bash the West or paint this dream lifestyle in Thailand, but instead just to give you a little bit of an idea of my story and my experiences. And if that helps just one of you, then my job is done. So if you did enjoy this video, drop a comment and of course subscribe. See you in the next one. Leo Jogan Mai.